We're back.
We're
Jessica.
back. Oh my goodness. It's Tuesday. Got our cocktails. Got my reality check martini. Yes.
I got my Jack and Coke again because apparently that's what I'm on.
Yes.
All the time. Bartender, applause.
Thank you, Phil. Phil was bartending and setting us up today. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Always
Phil.
a great.
Shout out to
Thank
Phil.
you, Phil. But yes, I'll let you lead because today is 1 October.
Today is 1 October. So it's kind of like one of those like where were you moments.
Yeah, because obviously our like thoughts and prayers are with everyone. Thoughts and like love is with everyone who is affected by 1st October and all that other stuff. So yeah, it's weird too because you kind of it's been long now. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been weird. That was 2017.
I think so.
Yeah. So it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget it. I remember I worked day shift I was working day shift at Virgil's. And I woke up and like someone said like I just woke up at like I took a nap. I got home from work at like 5:30 and I took a nap. I woke up about 9 o'clock and like Facebook was going off and I'm getting like text messages and different things like from people like checking in on me and I'm like, what's going on? And I see like an active shooter post and I'm like, what? Okay. And next thing you know, I get a text or actually I got a phone call from my ex's mom. So like my boyfriend at the time, like his mom was like just like a feisty Mexican lady, right? So she's calling me and she's like, Jessica, you go get my son because he was performing at the Strat.
Oh, that's right.
He was at World's Greatest.
I mean, he was at the opposite side, but someone who doesn't live here doesn't know that.
Yeah, so he was at the Stratosphere performing at World's Greatest Rock Show, and she was like, Mia, you go get my son. You make sure he is not at the bar. You go get my son. And I was like, yes, Mom. Like, I don't. Okay, but there was no way I was getting down there.
Yeah, no.
There was no way. So
no.
Finally, because she couldn't get a hold of him, so finally he calls and he's like, "Oh, come meet me at Sammy's Pizza, which is like over by where we on like Jones. It was near where we lived." And what we found out was like Robin and Drew from the Whippets had a gig at Mandalay Bay.
Oh my gosh!
So they were like barricaded in another room, like. And we couldn't get a hold of them. Like we thought they were dead. Yeah, we didn't hear back from them until like 1:30 in the morning. Like we thought the worst. Yeah. So finally, like Robin and Drew both like texted him and they were like, yeah, we're okay.
We're safe. And thank God. Yeah, I had a couple friends in it. Like one of her core memories that she posted on Facebook. I mean, not when it originally happened. She was like, I just remember me and, my boyfriend, fiance at the time, just pulling people under things. And like, he was grabbing people and putting them in his truck, just get them the F out of there. And like, just really, and I mean, truly, it changed their lives forever. I mean, of course it would.
I know there was a few people that were actually, one of the girls that, one of like the Gillies, like regulars, like, she stopped coming to Gillies. She actually hid out for a while afterwards because it was so traumatic for her. She was actually there. The next day I was working day shift at Virgil's and like American was closed, Chayo was closed. Everywhere else on the promenade was like closed for the day. We were open at Virgil's and I had to go in and I had to clean the bar because they were told to leave immediately. So like so there was like beer like mid pour, like
just sitting there.
Like everything was, so I had to like clean the bar. And then my first guest of the day, I got my boss to comp them a round of Bloody Marys because they came in and they were like they hadn't gone to bed yet. Like they were in a stampede. They were bruised. So I actually that day sent everybody to Carnival Court. Like I was like, guys, go to Carnival Court. Like after you guys eat and chill, go on over to Carnival Court, see Flippy. Like have Flippy actually told me that he did his pyramid of death more times that day than any other day that he's ever done it.
Just trying to raise the morale.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I mean, I remember like and I went over and I checked on those bartenders after I got off work and hugged them and told them I loved them. And, you know, it was a scary time. But it also brought our community together and made me very proud to live in this town.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, the Vegas strong that came out of it has held so much weight even now, because we still use it with like the Knights, and the Golden Knights use it, and we've made it into something that we get to be supportive of, but also like get to continue, because you know how some things like fizzle out. We're like 7 years later, we're still saying strong, and we're like, we live by that motto. The Knights live by that motto. I think, you know, it just, I don't know, it's nice to see. We love a good community.
The memorial that was put up at the Las Vegas, at the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, is now I think it's in the museum at like over like the Springs Preserve. I think it's over there. I think, or like the Nevada History Museum.
Yeah, aren't they still trying to build like a recreation park for it? Like they're doing something to where there's
another park.
But they're trying to build. I think. Oh, I thought they were going to build one across the street from Mandalay Bay.
I think there's
because didn't they just buy?
They were trying to make another like concert thing. They were trying to do it again, and there's
so much going on with the Tropicana being right there too. No one knows what's happening.
No idea.
But so yeah, hearts and prayers, all the thoughts, positive thoughts with the families that were affected, and move on to lighter things.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Paige!
Today's actually Paige's birthday, or last night was Paige's birthday. Yeah,
yesterday was Paige's
actual birthday. So happy birthday to our reality check Vegas Madness MVP, Paige Strafella.
The one and only. The amazing Paige. Yeah, she had a party at Tuscany. It was a lot of fun. Callie's
never been to a Tuscany event.
It was my first time. I left the house at 10 p.m.
So everybody starts showing up at 9, but nobody really gets there until like
11
or 10 or 11.
Honestly, 11.
Because everybody has shows. Like everybody's at work. That's why I didn't take that day off, because like Paige had Reckless in Vegas.
Paige didn't even get there until like 11:30.
Almost, yeah. I got there. She got there right after me. Yeah, because I left work at 11.
Yeah.
Like Christina Balanek didn't get there. She had tape face, so she didn't get there till after, you know, and I mean, a lot of people just got there like super late. Yeah. So like really that party doesn't really get going until 10:30.
I mean, it's fun. I can see, and then I can only imagine what breakfast is like too, because everyone's like, let's go to breakfast.
Yeah, everybody goes to breakfast at Village Pub at Ellis Island. And it's fun. I've been a couple of times. Christina and I usually when I go, and I go if she's going most of the time, but also I don't get, after going to breakfast, I don't get home till like 4 a.m. and I'm just wrecked.
Yeah.
It's a long night.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed. I didn't get home until 3, and then I stayed up till like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, same.
So
it was, but, so Paige all week long was like, you need to be there. And I was like, okay. And so I told Tiara like all week, I was like, I have to be at this thing. And luckily I started work at 4, so I got out so I was like a little bit earlier. So so I was like, I have to get out of here by like 11 o'clock. Like I absolutely have to. And Paige has been telling me too, like the last couple of weeks, like, hey, like I knew about it like 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
And she just said like, hey, I'm going to be singing Taylor Swift for my birthday. Maybe possibly Britney. I'm not really sure, but just make sure that you're there. And I was like, oh my God, absolutely. Save it for me. Like, don't do it till I get there. And she goes, well, I have Reckless in Vegas that night too. So don't worry about it. It's fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And so Kallie and I are like sitting at like the back corner of the bar. And Kallie gets up and she's like, all right, I'm going to go take video. And I was like planning on just like chilling and like videoing it from my seat, like at the bar. Kallie comes running back and she goes, they're calling you. And I'm like, what? Like I forgot what she said at that point. I definitely did not hear my name get called.
But I think she said something like Jessica John's will she said, where's Jessica John? She needs to come up. She said something like, she said your full name. And I was like, girl, you better get up there.
Yeah. So
there's song for you.
So I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And then she said, I dedicate, this song's dedicated to you. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And then I sit down and I hear those first couple of notes on the piano. And I just completely blacked out and forgot that I was not at the Eras tour. Because
she did a great job though.
Because
honestly, Paige did a great job on that song.
And Carnell Johnson, aka Golden Pipes.
Yes. That's who he did it with. Okay. Because I was like, who? She performed a few times and I was like, who did what?
Yeah. And they sang Exile. Now, the most memorable part of the Eras tour, one of the most memorable parts of the Eras tour happened in Edinburgh when she sang, on the piano, sang Haunted, and then went right into Exile. And you just hear the crowd screaming. And then all of a sudden, the crowd sang Bon Iver's part and Taylor sang her part. And it was like Taylor featuring the crowd. It was literally like a duet situation.
Yeah.
And I was, all of a sudden, I was at Tuscany sitting in front of Paige and Carnell, but really I was in Edinburgh. Because
it was good.
I start screaming. I'm like, oh my God, they're doing Exile. And Paige looks at me and smiles, and and then Carnell all of a sudden just goes right into the song, and I was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever, because he really, really got it.
It brought her to tears, I will say.
I was crying.
It was.
We are talking, I was ugly crying, because it was Paige, it was her birthday, but she surprised me and made sure that I got to experience Exile one way or another.
She's like, it has to be.
I couldn't even.
It's a great song though.
Dude,
so I understand.
Okay, so when you go to the tribute shows, we have Sarah Jessica Rhodes had her tribute show here, and I was like, Champagne Problems, Exile, what are your surprise songs? But they don't do surprise songs.
No.
So I got a surprise song. And it was awesome.
My surprise song. This was because she also called Reality Check out again. But my surprise song was Paige went, in an interview once I was asked, did you think you were going to rap for your career? And I said, well, I was rapping. I did rap. I have a rap album. And then she performed an original.
We all lost our freaking minds.
I was like, Paige!
It was so cool. Oh my God. But okay, wait. So before that, then she me, Kallie, Christina Balnick, we're all sitting at this table, and Paige can't find Kevin Molinak, so she's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna sing this song, and she goes into August, and I'm like, okay, well I'm singing along, because Paige went from Evermore to Folklore, so I was like, she's in her Folkmore era, because that's what Taylor's doing that now, so I'm like, oh my God, and so I was like, August slipped away like a moment in time.
I forgot you did that one too.
Yeah, it was awesome, but I was waiting for her to run through the thing and be like, back when we were still changing for the better. She didn't do it though, but it was really funny. But yeah, then after that, they got who did she bring on stage to do that rap?
Joey, and I don't remember the third person. I don't
know the other person either. I don't.
Yeah, her boyfriend Joey for sure was up there.
He is awesome. He's so talented.
Yeah,
oh my God, we love Joey Calvary. He's incredible.
I mean, honestly, the two of them together is, a masterpiece. But the fact that they did her original song together too was just
oh my God.
He knew his job. And
I think I recorded. I think
we have videos of it.
Yeah, there are videos. I think what I did when I go to concerts, when I was at Taylor, I would do is I would take a video of the first verse and chorus, and then I would put my phone down and I would scream sing the rest of the time.
Yeah, because you want to be there.
Because I want to be there. So what I did was I took a video of the first minute, and then I put my phone down and was just
in the moment.
Just in the moment.
Yeah.
Just in the moment. But it turns out I had my phone recording. I stopped that video, but I also had my phone recording, and I guess I had it I had my phone like this, and I was just like this. So and so there was a minute and a half of my phone.
I need that video. I absolutely need that video. I can just hear the background just a wave.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
That's funny. Yeah, Christina did a great job too. I mean, honestly, everyone did a great job. But Christina did such a great song. She was so nervous about her song.
Christina was so funny because Christina and I went to karaoke one night at Achilles. Now, they let me do Taylor Swift, they let me do Britney, because I'm not a country gal. They know it. But I put on a show and they let me do it. Christina was like, okay, well, I'm going to do Redneck Women. And so she did Redneck Women. And it was karaoke. And she was like, there wasn't a lot of pressure, but she was like, oh, you know, like, I'm going to still do this. And she like messed up the verses, or like the country singers, like, you know, when, you know, Tanya Tucker, Charlie Daniels, and so like, when they mentioned so she kind of got stuff mixed up. So, but she still did amazing, and I was like partying along with her. So she was really nervous to do it again. Yeah. So when and
it wasn't a top choice song for her. It was kind of like, hey, we've already learned a lot of music as it is. Let's keep it to something that
she was
going
to change it. She was like, damn. I was like, yeah, Paige is going to do Taylor Swift. She's like, oh yeah, you're coming, aren't you? I go, yeah. She goes, damn, I should have done Taylor Swift. So like, next time. But she nailed it. She was really worried that she was going to nail it, or she was going to like mess it up, and she absolutely did amazing. I was waiting for her to bring out props, because she normally brings out props when she performs. But,
that's funny.
But her whole outfit was a prop, and it was so funny because like, so Christina gets there, and we're just expecting to see Christina, and who's walking with her was Kallie. Finally got to meet Tapeface.
Yeah, can I just say, okay, I just want to put this on the record, because I think this is just weird. So when Jessica and when I first became a co-host, when did it get weird came up, because we were drinking alcohol and we were talking about somebody else. And I was like, I need to know when it gets weird. And it's
weird. I miss Crown Avenue so much.
It's so close.
Get back together, guys. Right? I love you, Christian. Come back.
It's so close to Tapeface's, like, what is his motto?
His is stay weird.
Stay weird. Okay, odd. Then I'm talking to Christina. I'm like, I had a baby. And she's like, that's incredible. She's like, what's his name? And I'm not going to say his name, but his middle name is the same as Sam's son's middle name. And I'm like, okay, now I'm just stealing all Sam's ideas.
Yeah. Well, it was so funny because like the way that our thing came up was just we were
just drunk
at a bar watching Crown Avenue perform.
I wanted to know when it was going to get weird.
And she wanted to know when something was going to get weird, and I was like, and it did eventually. It took 5 years, but shit got weird. But that's where it came from, and so it's just
odd that all I can say is
weird. When did it get weird?
Yeah.
But it's like, when did it get weird? And then it's like, okay, but then it got weird. Now it's got to stay weird, But it was cool because, so Kallie had never met Sam, and so it was cool. It was cool to see him. I hadn't actually seen Sam in about 4 years, almost 5 years. It's been a long time. Yeah, but it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah,
we had a great time.
Yeah,
I mean, it was. And I was a little bit worried about even going to Tuscany in the first place, but turned out everyone was happy to see me. And like, I got there and I was like, nobody's talking to me. And then Kallie's like, you just walked in the door.
I know. It was
like,
cute.
Nobody realizes that you're even here.
Yeah, it was so funny because literally she was there maybe 10 minutes at most. I was like, girl, they haven't finished the song on stage yet. Let them, and then as soon as you said that, it was like, oh, hey, Jessica, hey.
Yeah.
And it was like, I told you.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, are you coming to breakfast? And I probably should. I realized I probably should have, but I was so tired. I was wrecked. No way.
There was no way in hell I was going to breakfast. That
wasn't happening. But but it was cool. It was like Jazz D'Antino. He does all the crushed heads. And so I did his thing. So one time he was crushing Christina's head, so I crushed his. Crushing hers, funny. And he was like, "That's not acceptable behavior." There was like sign to the chairman of the head crushers or something.
That's funny. He's like, "No, that's my thing."
No, yeah. So but it was a lot of fun. I shout out to everybody that we saw. Joe D'Annunzio was really funny. He's got one of the funniest Trump impressions I've ever seen.
I mean, he seems like a pretty silly guy.
He's a really, you would, when you go up to him, you think he's just just a chill, quiet kind of guy. And then all of a sudden,
No.
Yeah, no, he's hilarious.
Full personality.
He's so funny. So it's cool to see him and Jennifer and Bridget, Paige, Carmen.
Yeah.
Selena Sasso. I mean, like
It was nice to meet everyone.
Kevin Molinax. Yeah.
Because it was nice to see, like, you know.
It's a really cool, like, networking thing.
Yeah, it's good. I can see how it would be a great way to get introduced to a lot of people.
Yeah. The whole night we were like, yeah, we host our show at Composer's Room. So.
Like, come on in.
Come on in. Yeah.
But, Jessica, you know, there's another closure.
I'm really getting tired of, you know, like our list is getting to be
31.
So it's up to 31.
31.
I don't know whether to like turn around and be like, is this our economy and politics, or is this just like cattiness going on amongst certain communities?
Well, honestly, it's both. I don't know. I feel like it could be both. So Bent Inn and Pub, which is a gay hotel, you know, and pub, they kind of shut their doors very randomly because, let me read it to you. They had to sue their general contractor. Ooh, I'm going to shout out the name too. ADJ Contracting and Development, which is now the subject of 2 pending lawsuits. These battles have taken their toll financially, forcing Bent Inn to close. So, and then they also
lawsuits are expensive.
Well, also lawsuits, especially if you've paid the contractor thousands of dollars already, and then you're trying to make that up, but then you can't use your room because the contractor's not finishing the job. So now you're really out money. And then you get to a point where you're just like, oh shit, I have no money to even run my business anymore. I mean, like, imagine if the bar was shut down for 2 months here. Yeah. How much it would screw everything up. And so they also put in their notice, like, here's the case numbers. You can go look them up.
So you can, like, publicly, it's public record.
Yeah, I tried. It's only when it's done when it's public record. But so yeah, they released the lawsuits, and then I was doing some digging because I was like, what's going on? Because they are
Kallie always needs the tea.
Yeah, because like this is the 5th gay-centric location that is closed down this year. Like 5, you know, that's too much. 2 this month, the Garden and this. And so I was doing some research, and like pretty much what I've seen is the gay community, a lot of these establishments are against each other, not working with each other. So, and because of that, they're just kind of holding each other back.
Working with each other and like helping to lift up each other's businesses and have like, you know, I know that it's their competition, but also, I mean, when you have a community like that, you all have to stick together and not sit back and be like, well, mine's better than yours or whatnot or whatever, just like whatever arguments.
How much have I said too, Vegas doesn't have a gay community like anywhere else.
Right.
I mean, we don't have like, we have drag shows and stuff, but honestly, the most popular drag show, or I should say popular drag shows are going to be at Alexis Park or on the Strip. They're not in these small bars like they would be somewhere else.
No, because like, well, Hamburger Mary's.
Yeah. But that's their whole thing.
Yeah, that's their whole thing. So you go there for that. But like, they have a drag show. They have drag brunch at Senior Frogs.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's a very popular, very popular one. Huge.
Well, and also it's just one of those things where it's like, and the only revenue they really get is during Gay Pride, and so they're trying to hold on to it, but yeah, no. So I don't know. I mean, also it sounds like you can rent out a space. I mean, hell, I can say it about Composer's Room too. Like they could come here and do a show and probably make more money and also get away with more than they would at these nightclubs and start earlier too. Right. So I don't know. It's a lot right now.
I think it's hilarious. Like, listen, I got asked the other day why it was, well, I'm not going to get into it, but I worked at Alexis Park for like a good almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I was lead bartender, and that's where I started my mixology journey, was at Alexis Park. But Alexis Park is in an area where you could literally, number one, you get a cheaper room at, well, not necessarily cheaper, but it's a little bit less expensive than like Virgin. And then you can just go to walk across the street to Virgin. But then you also have a slew of like really, like you've got like Paradise Cantina on the corner. Yeah. And then you've got like a couple of nice Italian restaurants and sushi places, and then you have like a CVS if you need anything, and then you have Hofbrauhaus.
Yeah.
And then you have Naked City right next to it. Like, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily like recommend like walking alone over there, but it's in theory, it is within walking distance.
Yeah, if you got a friend, you're okay.
Yeah, you're fine. So like it is within walking distance. So you could literally do like, you could walk to Naked City and you could walk to the Fruit Loop. Like everything's right there.
Well, and also I think what says a lot is Alexis Park has three gay focused shows on top of being in walking distance to the only 3 gay bars that tend to stay open.
Right.
Like, and that aren't being threatened to shut down. I mean, Piranha's been open for decades.
Like, do you know how big Alexis Park is? Like, it goes all the way to the airport. Like, it's acres and acres and acres of
so it's
rooms.
Like,
so you could totally go to Piranha and stumble your drunk ass back to your room, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of pull for it, but yeah, I mean, do we just get a bigger community and help each other out, or do we just, I mean, because you and I've seen the cattiness. I mean,
I hate to sit here and go, I mean,
we
Alexis
have
Park
exclusives
is there,
on our YouTube, but like, we have an exclusive on our YouTube of, somebody coming and being like, this place is awful, and
this
here's
is what
the
happened.
reason.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is that place is still open.
Yeah, how was that place?
Because Garden had to do lawsuits against that guy.
Yeah,
so crazy. Look at that. That's such a pain in the ass, but oh my goodness. So it's so funny. We were talking about P. Diddy and about how he's getting in a lot of trouble. But, our girl, Sabrina Carpenter, about to save the day.
Oh, my goodness. Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, my goodness. Like, okay, so I haven't downloaded her album yet. I should, but I haven't stopped listening to Taylor Swift. I'm still living in I'm living in the Eras Tour moment still.
Yeah.
And Crystal had to remind me today that we won't be going to see her this month, and I'm kind of sad. I was like, thanks, as I'm on my way to go do the show. That's cool. But I've been watching all her shows on TikTok, like the lives, just like we all watch the Taylor Swift shows. Yeah. So we're watching the short and sweet tour, which her tickets are also crazy expensive. Like, come on, guys. Yeah. But she just did a show at Madison Square Garden, and like halfway through the show, this bitch sits there and goes, do we want to talk about how I got the mayor indicted? Now, what I think is so funny about that is I don't think she knew that until like it became a thing. Like Taylor Swift,
they had no idea.
Like Taylor Swift, like she what's great about her and why we all love her is because she watches all of our shit, and it's clear because she added one of our like Swiftie like influencers that we all like love and adore. Like he came up with some choreography to like different songs, and she actually picked one and uses it in the Bejeweled on stage. So like it's part of her choreography now. So that's how we know like she's watching us and she's commenting on things. So then when this whole thing went down, and somebody like she filmed her music video for Feather in a church. And then next thing you know, like the mayor's indicted, and then somebody decided that they were going to deep dive and find the connection somehow. And then it started this viral campaign. Of, did you guys know that Sabrina Carpenter is responsible for getting the mayor indicted? Yeah. And then I'm sure her publicist was like, "What did you do?"
No, so actually there was not really a big deep dive. It was just it's a quicker connection than you think, actually. That's what makes it crazy. It's really, there's only 2 degrees separation from Sabrina Carpenter and getting this guy in a
But I don't think she knew.
Oh no, she didn't know. No, I think she knew, but why would you say it earlier before New York when it's the New York mayor? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that is great footage to use in New York while you know what I mean? Because it is the New York mayor.
Hilarious.
So what happened was she filmed Feather in this
she filmed it in
beautiful
a church,
Catholic church.
And I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't watch that video because I was like, oh come on, oh Jesus,
was a little blasphemy.
It was a little bit for me.
It was a lot of sexiness in a church.
It was a little bit for me, and I was like, as a Catholic,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not so religious. I do practice Lent.
Yeah.
I am like, conservative Christian, but not so like far off. I just, believe in.
I wouldn't call you a conservative Christian.
Okay, but I'm very like, be good to people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care, whatever. But at the same time, I grew up in the Catholic Church. My whole life was in the Catholic Church. So I was like, oh, Monsignor Pat would not be okay with this.
So a lot of people had that feeling. And which made, so the priest, so people started talking to the priest that is on top of it. They were like, what is going on? And so he started getting a lot of backlash, and he said he wanted to build the bridges with young people. But I'm going to tell you how you build. That was not the way to do it. I'm going to tell you how you build bridges with young people is you look at what the people are telling the young people. Don't fix the building. The building is fine. A lot of people that deconstruct from church actually have no problem with the building or trying to relate with the building. It's the people. But that's okay. That's a different topic.
No, it's a whole other.
So then the big man in charge,
trying to get more people to come into church, and that was not.
No, that's just not a way to do it.
That was not the way to do it.
And then the priest started an investigation. So the bishop of Diocese of Brooklyn, right? So the big man, the priest's boss, came in and was like, "What the hell is going on here?" and started investigating the priest. Because the bishop was like, why are you allowing this? This is disgusting. This should not have been allowed. And the priest was like, I'm sorry. I didn't know what they were going to do, which, by the way, dumb. You're just letting a pop star come in and you didn't know what was going to go on inside your church. But what if they caught it on fire? And you just let them in? Like, it's just weird to me.
But also, you're letting a pop star... Like
I love Sabrina Carpenter.
Obsessed with Sabrina Carpenter.
But like for my business, who's Catholic, I'm not going to be like, "Come on in, babe."
Remember? Yeah, that's like when like Britney Spears back in the day was doing her thing, and you just like invited her to do some. Like she would never. Actually, honestly, Britney Spears would never. But
exactly.
She would never because she was also a Baptist. She was but she would also never. But she probably used to back and go.
Oh, that's a little hard.
Oh, actually, I think she did that after the VMAs. She was like, "Ooh," but okay.
Yeah. But so then the bishop of diocese demotes the priest, and like he's not allowed to be a priest there anymore, and started looking into other things that he agreed to happen within the church, because now the guy's like, I don't trust you. So now I want to deep dive, and then he found out. It goes into the priest's business dealings. And then the FBI subpoenas the church. And then days after that, the mayor is indicted. And that same day, we find out that the priest is best friends with Mayor Adam. And Frank Corwone, who is the former chief of staff for Adams. And the investigation that they're looking at, the one that the priest gave money to invest in, is now in trouble for money laundering.
I feel like the state of New York and the DAs and the ADAs are just buried in paperwork.
Like, oh my God, Diddy, and then this motherfucker.
Diddy, you have Mayor Adams, and it's just gonna the house of cards in New York is just crumbling down. And I'm enjoying every bit of it.
So
it's so much fun to watch.
That's why it's kind of funny where it's like, she's like, well, I guess. No, you kind of did, babe. Because what your thing, I mean,
her music video got the ball rolling.
Yeah, it absolutely did. Because if this bishop wouldn't look into it, we probably wouldn't be here by now. But clearly he found some shady things. And then the church is not confirming or denying because... it's still an active...
It's an active investigation.
It's not that they want to protect anybody, so that's the first time for a Catholic church. But that's all right.
Nobody's touching children, so nobody...
They're like, we need to get this done quickly.
Yeah.
We need to make sure. But yeah, it's just funny how Sabrina Carpenter, my love of love.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that's an interesting...
I love Sabrina Carpenter's rise to fame. Like I'm so angry at myself for not going to see her at the Joint. Like,
honestly, remember how we made fun of it too? Like, oh, we only like one or two songs, and then this bitch can't stop listening to the album for fucking 2 months.
It's just hit after hit after hit.
And even the first album, I did the same thing too. I was like, I don't really like it, and now I like 8 songs off of it.
Opened up the Eras tour, the entire Latin America's the Latin American leg. So Crystal saw her twice.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so jealous.
I will say though, I prefer this album more than the last album. So it's like when I do get to see her, I get to enjoy this album.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, ooh, okay.
Maybe one day we will.
One day.
When she does her own Eras tour, we'll go and we'll get all dressed up in our baby doll, whatever, or like feathers or some shit. We'll just figure it out. But it's gonna be fun.
But yeah, you know what's funny also? We were talking about Courtney Love.
Courtney Love.
Last week we were talking about
my
Courtney
craziest memory about Courtney Love, aside from her killing Kurt Cobain, my funniest memory of
and Harvey Weinstein.
And that too. But yeah, okay, so we have a thing in Atlanta, and it is called Music Midtown. It's kind of like iHeart, except it's like at Piedmont Park, and there's different stages. So you have like the Q100 stage. So I got to see Jessica Simpson at the Q100 stage, and Joss Stone back in the day.
Okay.
Like, I was front row for Joss Stone, which meant I was front row for Jessica Simpson.
Oh.
And so, like, we went all 3 days, me and Ashley and her parents, all of our friends, we went. And I did all the rock bands that everybody wanted to do so that I could see Jessica Simpson and Joss Stone. Like, that is literally, I was like, I was like, literally, guys, like, we'll go see all the rock bands. We'll go see Foo Fighters, Offspring, all of them. We saw the Killers. I got to see the Killers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw everyone that weekend. I saw everybody.
Yeah.
But I was like, the trade-off is I just want, because it's Sunday where the pop shows, and I was like, so Saturday night we're leaving, and the 99X stage, which is the rap, it's not there anymore. It's actually Q100 and Q100 movie. It's a whole thing. But so 99X at the time was like the main rock station in Atlanta.
Okay.
And we're on our way out. Hole is on stage. Courtney Love is like there's a couch on stage, and Courtney Love is like strewn across this couch, just drunk off her ass, throwing up and singing her song.
That sounds like a
and I am like watching the.
I can't imagine.
I'll never. This lives in my head. This moment lives in my head. It's my Roman Empire, okay? Like this is how I can see it because I saw like on the big screen, right? Like as we're like going up to the MARTA train, and people are, because that stage was like right when you get off the train and you're heading into the festival. That was the very first stage. So obviously when you're walking to this train to get on the trains, that's what we saw. We just saw like, I mean, it had the biggest area, right, to fill in because of, it's 99X was the main stage. So you just see hundreds of people walking away as she's like, and singing, what was that? What was her main song?
I always forget those songs.
Oh, make me over, or whatever.
Yeah.
She was singing that song. Yeah. So she was singing that song, but throwing up as she was doing it. And so people were leaving, and I was like,
what year was this?
Oh, Jesus. 2006 or 7, maybe.
Yeah, that was.
I think I was already graduated high school.
I mean, that was.
I might have been graduated high school, or I might have been. You know what? I might have also been in high school. I can't remember. I really can't remember. It was like it was like when Jessica Simpson was in her second album. She was touring her second album, and that was the album that she had. It was Irresistible, and so like her merch. They had her legit look like Britney Spears. I'm not even joking. I wish I still had that T-shirt.
That was before 2006, though.
But it was. Then I was still in high school. So I'm like going to the merch booth, and I'm like, why is there Britney merch hanging up there? And I'm like, that's Jessica Simpson. Yeah.
Isn't it funny how you like figure out? Well, at least how I figure out time dates.
Culture, the pop formula.
Yeah, well, it's just like, okay, what was I doing in 2006? Well, My Chemical Romance just released their The Black Parade, and I know Jessica Simpson, the show with Nick Lachey, was already long.
We were all in high school. I was in high school.
I was not.
So yeah, but it's but to think about that moment from Courtney Love, and now she's a grandma.
But listen, Frances. So yeah, Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain, Tony Hawk. are now grandparents.
Which is not on my bingo card. That was never on my bingo card. Tony Hawk's son.
Yeah, his name is Riley Hawk, and then Francis Bean Cobain both had a baby September 17th. Weird.
He's got a really cool name too.
Yeah, I just listened.
It was Ronan. No,
I just didn't write it down because it's like, I don't know. I'm weird with my kids' names,
it was like. Something Ronan Cobain Hawk.
Yeah, they used both of the names, which I thought was really sweet, and like also like a nice little tribute too. Because another thing too, I want to know. I don't know if you know this, but Courtney Love and Francis had to live with Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins for a very long time, for about a decade. And Francis is like only like dad figure that she knows is Billy Corgan, which, by the way, is still having children. So is he a grandpa, like a surrogate grandpa, but he's also having kids at the same time now? It's just so funny.
Weird.
But yeah,
I don't know, but did we ever talk about Dave Navarro?
Oh, had the fight?
Did Dave Navarro, wasn't he? He was in Nirvana, and then
Dave Grohl was.
That was Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Sorry, got my names mixed up.
Got my names. Dave
Grohl was in Nirvana, and now he's like has an illegitimate child.
Yeah, that's
pretty hilarious.
With the lady he's been seeing for
that's
hilarious
because he's like made himself as such a family man.
Also, I think it's kind of funny that he kind of went after Taylor, and then like right after his you know what though, the man was
you do not come after Taylor. We will find the dirt
of it all. The karma of it all was so funny. But yeah, Dave Grohl, he had a baby.
Step by step from town to town.
But yeah, I just think it's weird. Like I said, so I know a couple years ago, Francis and Courtney were not talking at all. Like she cut her mom out because obviously the woman is still on drugs. I mean, that was how long ago?
I was in high school.
The woman is still a raging alcoholic. Yeah. She has not changed much.
No.
So it's weird. But like I said, yeah, she lived with Billy Corgan. So I was like, I wonder what Billy Corgan thinks. Like that must be a weird.
Insane.
Also, it would be weird if he is grandpa. And like I said, I think his wife, Billy Corgan's wife, is pregnant right now. So it's like you're gonna have an uncle grandpa thing. It's gonna be good.
Uncle daddy situation.
All right. Okay. Talk about the crazy Alabama game.
Okay.
Because that was insane.
This game. I was really rooting for Alabama to lose because as an LSU fan, as an SEC fan, everyone hates Alabama. Like you might be an LSU, I might be an LSU fan, you might be a UGA fan. But everybody hates Alabama. Alabama is that team. Well, back when the Patriots had Tom Brady and were winning all the time, it was like when you got annoyed that the Patriots were winning all the time, so we hated them because they were winning all the time. Everybody hates Alabama because they are winning all the time. So Nick Saban, Alabama's coach, who we used to have at LSU, Alabama's coach, retired last year, and I was like, oh, Alabama's finally going to get theirs. Like, they're going to suck, and it's going to be awesome. That didn't happen. So
no, they were like, watch me.
So they were like,
we just wanted to play with your emotions.
Oh my God.
It was almost intentional.
This game.
It was almost intentional.
I don't know. It was very reminiscent of the Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl, okay? Because it was first quarter, 21-0 Alabama. And I was like, God damn. And we had the sound on at VIX, and you hear the announcer goes, man, things are going downhill quick for UGA. Oh my God. And I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, what is this? Like, I wish I was the announcer for that game because I would have. It was the funniest shit I've ever heard. I was like, as an announcer, from an announcer, like, yeah, like man, things are just shit is rolling downhill fast, and I was like, oh my God, they said that. Damn. And so then by halftime, it was 28-0 Alabama, and I'm like, I remember looking at Brandon and I said, they're really gonna have to pull it out like at the end of because. When LSU, when they had Les Miles, he would let the opposing team just run through their energy and just crush it that first half. Yeah. That way, by the second half, like they conserve their energy, so they would come back and crush it and just be like and just win. And this happened many a time. So it's one of those things where Kirby Smart, the coach of UGA, is like, we have them right where we want them, because then UGA started scoring, and they caught up quick. Oh. It was like 28-33, and then in the fourth quarter, Alabama, but then Georgia scored, and it was 34-33, And then you saw, and there was like 2 minutes left.
Yes, I think that's the killer. It was 2 minutes left.
There was 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
And now, mind you, Alabama has a 17-year-old named Ryan Williams. A 17-year-old.
Yeah.
17-year-old receiver.
He fucked shit up.
He fucked shit up the whole game. Like, this child who can't even see rated R movies is scoring touchdowns in Tuscaloosa. Like, what the hell? Like, so what the hell? In front of a former president. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh my God, it was the craziest game. And then it cuts to like the Alabama fans, and they're all like this.
Like, oh no.
Oh my God.
No.
It was the best. It was the best feeling ever. I was so excited.
Oh, that's so
my God.
funny.
But Alabama was only down by 1 point for 31 seconds. They only allowed 31 seconds of being below. Like they were like, we're not. This is unacceptable. And they came back and won.
Damn.
But they shouldn't have had to work that hard.
No.
Like UGA, man. I don't even like the Bulldogs. I'm an LSU fan who grew up in Georgia, and I rebelled against my people. But man, I hate Alabama. So I was like, what is happening? What is going on? And it was like the most. Sometimes because listen, Sunday's football games not that exciting. Like,
because they
were not that exciting.
Oh, really?
I
haven't watched anything, so.
So, like, LSU played a high school team, which is South Alabama, and they won. They're all like they won in Tiger Stadium. And as an LSU fan, I was like, great, cool. Come back to me when you've beaten Alabama or UGA. But like Sunday's games, the Bengals beat the Panthers. But I was like, great. Nobody can actually give up. Like, the Panthers suck so much that their stadium, they can't give away tickets. Like nobody goes. Nobody goes.
I mean, at least the people show up to the Raider games.
Well, the Panthers beat the Raiders.
That's not.
That was last week. So, so I was like, imagine losing to the Panthers. But that's how bad the Raiders suck.
Yeah.
But then even the Chiefs played the Chargers. And what I think is really funny, like there was a meme that somebody posted. It was like, you can beat the Heat if you beat the Chargers too, or whatever Taylor said in Florida.
That's right.
It was hilarious. But yeah, so I mean, and they were neck and neck the whole game, and then the Chiefs won. It was like 17-10. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
Like nothing really big and memorable happened.
Yeah.
On Sunday,
on in the season.
there was a couple. There was like one of the games. I can't remember who it was. The Baltimore Ravens. I wanted to call Joy and tell her about and trash talk because the Baltimore Ravens absolutely crushed the Buffalo Bills, and it was fun to watch.
That's funny.
But Sunday there was a couple of games that looked at the blueprint of the Georgia Alabama game and said we're going to play like that and come back and win. And so there was a couple of games like that, but it wasn't so memorable as like we're sitting here. I'm still talking about the Georgia Alabama game. That was last week, but you know Saturday, and I'm still sitting here going, what the happened?
I think I know a lot of football people that enjoy college more because it is a little bit more crazy because more people are willing to I don't want to say hurt themselves, but go after it in college football because I think there is such a no, I want to get to the NFL, so I need to show off.
Yes, that's why
but the NFL is we need to protect ourselves because I need to last all season. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a different.
When you're either winning by a lot or losing by a lot, they take out your main quarterbacks. They take out and they just throw in second string. But yeah,
I wonder what's going to happen to the 17-year-old. Does the NFL draft kids at 18?
I don't know because I know that there was a Kobe rule and a LeBron rule where you after Kobe and LeBron, it was one of those things where you can't go from high school to the NBA. You have to play at least 1 year of collegiate ball. Gotcha. So I don't know.
But technically, he has this year then.
I don't even think I think he's a redshirt freshman. He's playing, but he hasn't actually started school yet. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Listen, that is really good. Obviously.
Did you? But I kind of to her, it's sports ball, right? She knows nothing. But I sent her the highlights, and I'm like, watch this kid.
I was like, damn,
this kid's 17.
Yeah, that's better than what I can do. Shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had another sports related event happen. I guess.
Okay, so this is kind of crazy.
It's kind of fucked up, but it's like in a funny way.
Okay, so Pete Rose dies. Now, a couple other people died, like Frank Fritz from American Pickers.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
Yeah, from American.
That was a shock. He was only 60.
Dude, that was shocking. And then you have like what's her face from Harry Potter. So now the entire cast of Harry Potter is gone. Yeah, the entire cast. No, but I mean like Dumbledore and like Professor Snape and like they're all gone. They're all dead. And then somebody else just died too, and so like there's just
there's a lot of deaths.
There was a lot of deaths happening
and celebrity.
But this one was weird because it happened yesterday, and like was it yesterday or the day before?
No, it was yesterday.
Okay, so yesterday it was announced that P. Rose had died. And then Chad Chesmark, who's a comedy magician, his wife, really good friend of ours, a friend of the show. Laura Wright Chesmark, she actually, it's a cool story about how her and I know each other from Atlanta. So they were coming back from Nashville and they saw Pete Rose on their plane the day before. Yeah. The day before it happened. Okay. So they were like, cause like they found out he died and they're like, we just saw him last night. He was fine. So and they posted a video, like they took a little video of him around.
Like he's fine. Yeah, like he was walking around on his own. He looked real dapper. You can tell he dressed himself. He's not like some shit. He was doing much better than our president. I'm not gonna lie.
What's happening? And then so enter Mike Krasner.
Oh yeah. Mike Krasner. Chad makes a post about this.
So Chad makes a post.
Yeah, and shows the
about how he shows the video. Like he was like, we just saw Pete Rose last night on our plane. Like this Here he is. Here's the video. And then Mike Krasner, who's one of the funniest comedians, like this, I love him. I adore the shit out of him. We have the Kenan Thompson Presents every Friday and Saturday at Jimmy Kimmel's, and he actually headlined on Friday. And because it was so funny because I was like, good for you, because I've known him for a very long time. Yeah, and so he headlined. And his comedy, he's so funny. Like you would really enjoy. Like
well, honestly, from the comment, I would.
He's so fucking funny, and I'm so proud of him. I just sit back and because I've known him for a really, really long time, and I've I feel like I've kind of watched him like hustle and make his way and all that. And he also, so he's mainly at the LA Comedy Club. Okay, so he's at Jimmy Kimmel's every once in a while, and then he's at LA Comedy Club. He bartends over there on Tuesdays, and then the rest of the week he's either bartending or performing or opening or featuring or whatnot. So he's really, and he's at Wise Guys, like he's everywhere. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing to become what he needs to be. He's getting there. But this dude gets on Chad's page and goes, so you killed Pete Rose?
A little suspicious. You see him last? And dead?
Like, they were the last ones to see Pete Rose. So of course Mike was like, so you killed him?
That was you.
I was crying. I was laughing so hard because it was very Anthony Justin, like, I don't have time for too soon. I'm on a tight schedule kind of shit. So I was like laughing hysterically. And I was like, I am going to hell for life. Like, I literally commented, I'm like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I'm laughing at this. Yeah. And then I text him, and I was like, this is all your fault, because now I got to go to hell.
I'm going to go to hell.
I'm going to hell for this. And he goes, don't worry, Jess, I'll take the blame. I'll go to hell for both of us. And I was like, that's a real friend.
That's funny. That's a real friend. That's so funny. Yeah, no, it was a silly comment. Obviously, rest in peace. I looked it up. I had no clue who he was. I was like, oh, he does a sports ball.
Oh yeah, he's a baseball player, I think.
Yeah, he's a baseball player.
He got in trouble for betting on games.
Yeah, and honestly, when he was playing, it doesn't look like I was alive when he was playing either. So all I know is the Astros, Dallas Cowboys. Yep, that's about it. That's all. Obviously Golden Knights and Raiders, but that's all Daddy talked about growing up. So. There you go.
Oh, I was gonna say you're best friends with me, so
oh yeah,
you're gonna know about LSU. And, and then Auntie Grace. So you have like the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, but that's college, not And then baseball. Oh, I guess I know the Dodgers and like, duh. But like, do I know what they're doing? No, I have no fucking idea.
I don't know.
All I know is that the Astros cheated one year.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
My dad claims it never happened, but it's fine.
I just remember. I remember when the Cubs won the World Series, and Joey and I were doing the old reality check,
the
original conspiracy theory reality check. And I remember saying this on the air, and I got so much shit for it, and I was so proud of myself for this. And I go, the last time the Cubs won the World Series, Amelia Earhart was still alive.
It wasn't a lie, though.
It was not a lie.
Jesus. Oh my God.
I was like, did the Cubs kill Amelia Earhart? if we're going by Mike's line of thinking.
Yeah, right. It's like
Amelia Earhart is alive. She goes on her flight. The Cubs win the World Series. Amelia Earhart disappears, and that's that. And
it's the other way around. Amelia Earhart dressed up as a man and played in that World Series with the Cubs, and that's why they haven't been able to win since, because it was Amelia Earhart the whole time.
Amelia Earhart is the reason the Cubs won the World Series and why she was alive at the time.
Oh Lord, our connections. But speaking of October, it is spooky season.
Yes, we came dressed for the occasion. We should have said this in the beginning of the show.
We did. It's all right.
She's got her Chucky.
I got my Chucky and Tiffany, and then you have your haunted museum.
The Zach Bagans Haunted Museum. Now, the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum is an incredible, incredible place. I've been 13 times.
Yes.
That's not counting the times that I would like pop in and say hi to Joe in the parking lot, so I've probably been about 100
Well, that's
times.
not going into
But I'm not actually going in.
Yeah.
I do get asked a lot, do you ever see Zach? And I've been 13 times and I've seen him about 6 of those times. And he always manages to fuck with me every single time.
And he's single, so.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's single, so he has more time to go to the haunted museum.
Oh, I was like,
that's a long time ago.
I got that. Okay, yeah. All right.
No, I was just saying.
Anyway, wow, memory lane. Okay, no, so, but like the haunted museum is actually a very, very cool place, and so they have this thing where you could pay. That museum when it first opened, it was like $30 to get in. Like it was cheap to get in.
Oh yeah,
because it didn't have as much stuff.
Yeah.
And then as it grew, and Zach throwing down all this money to like buy all these things and expand the museum, he's got a whole warehouse behind it now. He's got his offices and a warehouse. Like he has so much shit that he's spending money on. So now it's like $50 a person to get in.
Yeah.
And that just gets you that's like the base price. It's like $55 or something like that for like base price. But then if you get the VIP tour, to me, that shit's worth it. Now I remember Joe, may he rest in peace, told me and Britt when we did the VIP tour, he said, you might want to go to the restroom because it's a long tour. And I was like, I'm fine. I was dying because it is a 2.5, almost 3 hour tour because you get 6 extra rooms, including the basement. Ooh. So you get 6 extra rooms, you get a lanyard and a t-shirt. So now mind you, that VIP tour is about $80 a person. The t-shirt, if you go to the gift shop, his gift shop's expensive. It's expensive. But the t-shirt, again, this quality shirt, I met Trevor in this shirt. Like this is actually one of my most prized positions because of it. But like the quality of the shirt is soft and yes, take all my money, Zachary, take all my money. But if you do that, once again, you do the VIP tour, you get a t-shirt, a lanyard, and 6 extra ribs, it's actually worth it because it almost cancels out the price of the shirt because you're just getting extra shit, all kinds of extra shit.
Yeah.
So I would definitely do that. I can't remember. I think they're closed on Wednesday. I think they're open 6 days a week. They used to be closed on Tuesday, Wednesday, and I was like, well, great, John.
Not my day.
Go see John Shaw, by the way. He's the sideshow performer at the Haunted Museum, as well as the sideshow performer in Late Night Magic, which is another Pompeii show. It's at the Orleans Saturday nights at 9:00.
Also, John Shaw, friend of the show.
John Shaw, friend of the show, who's been on the show.
Yes.
So yeah, but the Haunted Museum is very, very cool, and especially during Halloween, things happen. Now, mind you, when you walk through the Haunted Museum during Halloween and you get to the clown exhibit or like the circus exhibit, normally during the 11 months out of the year, those are all statues. But during October,
they turn into real people.
They're real people.
That's hilarious. That's a good gag.
Yeah, and then actually during Christmas he has He's got what's that crap? I had it on the tip of my tongue. I was just gonna say it. Krampus.
I was like, I wonder if he's talking about that. Yeah, Krampus.
Zach has Krampus running around.
That's
while
hilarious.
You're in line during Christmas.
That's
One
funny.
year he had a creepy Santa who handed out candy.
That's funny.
That was a great year. I had fun that year. But yeah, so he does some stuff. So
yeah,
it's very Halloween. It'll scare the shit out of you.
It's a good place.
Oriented, but it's a very cool spot. So if you ever get a chance, please go to the Haunted Museum. You have to make
over
16. You have to be 16. This one thought she could bring her 2-year-old. I thought it was hilarious. But like you have to be 16 with the parental consent. 16-year-olds are also not allowed in certain rooms, and about half of the rooms in the museum.
Why is that?
16-year-old
because of ghosts.
Because he's protecting. He's covering his bases and protecting.
Also,
because these are like demon. Like some of these things are like they have demonic ties and dark histories, and he's not trying to expose children to things like that.
Interesting.
Because children are more susceptible to things like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you have to be 18. You have to be 18, 16 with parental consent. You do sign a waiver. It's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. You have to make reservations online. And I would just highly recommend it, especially during the Halloween season. I'm sure they'll have different hours and stuff for Halloween. But yeah, I would absolutely recommend going to the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum. Go see our friend John.
Yeah, and then I went to the Oddities store on Sunset.
Ooh, I want to go to that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They had an event they do a lot of events for like Animal Foundation and all that other stuff. So whenever they have an event, all their proceeds or some of their proceeds go to the Animal Foundation. I know their goal was to raise like a few $100, and it only been started for like an hour when I got there, and they had already raised $120, which is pretty cool. And that place was freaking packed, but they had so many cool things in there. The things that I absolutely want, there's 2 dolls that are like, the glass dolls, like their bodies. So it's their bodies, but with a raccoon head and an alligator head. Hell yeah. So I was like, I need that decor in my home.
Was it like Susan the alligator that I posted a picture of at Vic's?
I don't know. I have to see that again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like there were these little like oddity things, but it was like at the World Market Center.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, probably the same thing because they have like individual alligator heads. They have pufferfish that they did, which that's in Florida. But like they had a bunch of like animal skulls. You can also buy human bones for $100, which I was like, I'd buy one.
Isn't that illegal? Like buying and selling human parts?
No, because cadavers happen all the time.
Those are donated.
No.
Not all the time when you like donate your body to science.
Yeah, you donate your body to a facility that prepares you to be sold to a university.
Weird.
Okay, yeah. No, those are so they had human bones. Also, I think if it's after a certain age, it becomes something else. Because like if you have a human bone from like 200 years ago, what are you gonna do? Put it back together? Like the guy's dead regardless. So you're good. You're in the clear. But yeah, they had a bunch of stuff in like jars. They had snakes with 2 heads. They had a bunch of taxidermy. They had comic books. They had these really cute shoes section, which I thought was kind of weird. They have a python in the middle, like obviously in a cage. But like,
is it yellow like banana?
Yes,
banana.
Yes. And then
the Britney fans out there.
They had a bunch of. It was kind of cool. I wish they could have put more on display because they also had like an insect and snake like pop-up shop in there to buy snakes and like like spiders and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's cool. We'll leave that over there. And then they also, what is it? The uranium plates, the plates that glow green. They have like a whole entire section of that. And they had a skeleton, but you can obviously tell like, oh, this was like a skeleton that hung up in a classroom.
Was
in, like,
Danger with you?
1904. Yeah.
So was he yelling skeleton?
I mean, he wasn't doing that. He was just so into everything. He was like, oh, duck, oh, rat, oh, snake. Oh, like he was just pointing everything out. But they had these cool, like they had a bunch of antiques in there too. I mean, a lot of stuff from the 1900s. They were raffling off a pill prescription from 1904. And I was like, oh, I bet that
I feel like this
cool.
is like all stuff Zach could have easily had in his museum.
Honestly, this is the stuff that is the antique, but not guaranteed. But like not guaranteed haunted, I guess you could say. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like baby
everything's
babies
connected
could be haunted.
Yeah, I was always afraid to go like antique shopping for that very reason. Like I mean, I love antiques. One time I was at an antique store and saw the NSYNC marionette dolls, and then I immediately felt old because I used to have those. But like but like things that are like that old, like what if I bought like a piano that was 200 years old and I brought it into my apartment?
I wouldn't let you because that thing would be horrible to tune.
Well, you know what I mean. You don't know, like everything has a history.
No, listen, my mom is an antique fanatic. She loves a good antique. I mean, Calethea wears pearls that are from the 1920s as well. Like, I mean, not the long one, but like my choker. Speaking of demons, they're fixing something on the other side of the wall. But yeah, so I mean, it was a lot of fun. I recommend going in. It's on Sunset. It's in the Pink Box parking lot, and they always have something going on. I'm gonna post a YouTube video. I'm not a TikTok about it. So I got all of it, but it was pretty cool.
Damn, I think we covered a lot of stuff today.
We did cover a lot.
We had like celebrity news. We had Vegas news. We had parties, Halloween. We're going to be talking about football games. We're going to be talking about Halloween, like little tidbits throughout the month of October. So be ready for that. Maybe we could have some like fun things going on here. I'll do some giveaways. Oh, I did a TikTok live last week.
That's right.
I did a TikTok live last week. I'm going to do one again tonight. But last week was so funny because I did it for like 45 minutes on my TikTok live, and I was making cocktails with everything that I had. I also went to like the restaurant supply store, and because I was open to the public, and there was like a full-on bar area, and I was like it was sensory overload. I didn't know what to do. I was like I felt like I was in Willy Wonka chocolate factory, and I was like, what do I do? And I had no clear direction. So today I have a direction. I know what I'm going to do. But last week I was like, oh my God, I could just get this and this and this. And I just got a whole bunch of stuff. And I only spent $50 and I bought a whole bunch of stuff.
Nice.
So I made a whole bunch of cocktails. I walked everybody through what I was doing and I came up with these recipes, tried them. Some worked out, some didn't. It was a very mad scientist kind of thing. I had about 400 people in my live, which is really cool. And so today I'm going to be doing old fashions. Okay. I'm going to make, I've got a few, and I'll probably throw in a Oaxacan old fashioned. I've got tons of bourbon. Okay. So I'll probably do some of that. And then after I do a TikTok live, with all my cocktails, I will then get on Instagram live for a TikTok after party to go over what I just made, and we'll try to get them, try to drink them all, but then I will probably die. So we'll see what happens. But so
what time do you think you're going to start?
I'm going to start probably about 7 o'clock.
Tuesdays at 7 o'clock.
So Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. Catch my live.
A regular thing. So, because we're a week behind.
But
that's all right. Tuesdays.
So, wow. All right. Well, thank you, Composer's Room.
Yes, thank you guys. Obviously, if you want to see any shows at Composer Room, please go to thecomposerroom.com. Check out their social media. Do all that fun stuff. We appreciate you guys. Our cocktails were delicious.
Thank you, Phil.
Yes, thank you, Phil.
All right.
Bye.